Ласкаво просимо перший епізод Тісто-Світ. Минулого тижня була моя перша Великдень, First Easter в Україні. Христос воскрес, Христос воскрес, Христос воскрес, воістину воскрес, воістину воскрес, воістину воскрес. Тому сьогодні ми будемо пекти, що таке солодке, культурно та важливий хліб. Називається Паска. And like with most sacred things, as a white foreigner, I have no choice but to experiment with it. Don't worry, I have a cultural consultant sleeping in the room next door. What could go wrong? У нас є борошно, у нас є турникет, у нас є форми. Готові? Get on your taste ship, we're going to the dough world. Disclaimer, this episode is not safe for gluten-free people, vegans, lactose-intolerant people, fascists, genocide deniers, and generally Russian sympathizers. I know they're not all the same thing, but there's certainly some vegans who are fascists and some fascists who are vegans. Important if you can, do your best to try to buy a bottle of raw milk from an old lady sitting in the sun. If you want to make sure that it's not unsafe, what you can do is pour a tiny bit in here and take it like a shot. Bezpieczne молоко. And make sure you use yeast, endorsed by Popatenko, Ukraine's most famous chef with a lopsided head. 300 grams of sugar. For reasons I don't understand but fully trust, you should wash and flour the raisins. I've always wanted to use this machine in milk mode. It's my first time. As a law-abiding vegan, I've never been able to use it. Looking for 400 milliliters here. Maybe I should shake this weird chunky stuff up. Hey, cultural consultant, I need your advice. Is this milk warm enough?
Just looks like a blob in the video. But
you're the cultural consultant, not the video consultant. Add the sugar and flour. 3 tablespoons flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar out of the total quantity. Then break up the yeast and whisk it into. I never used fresh yeast.
so satisfying.
Now might be a good time to let the audience know that when you're baking Pasta, you're not supposed to have any fights. You're supposed to have good things in your mind. The cultural consultant and I got our fight over with 2 nights ago, and probably tonight if knowing me. I never liked lemon or orange zest. Наступний you have the opara. The eggs. The melted but not hot butter. Add the vanilla sugar, whatever that is. I'd like to remind the audience to make sure you use the tub that is meant for cooking and not the one that's meant for washing floors and washing your feet. Common mistake. Next step is to knead for 20 or 30 minutes. My God. I've personally seen a lot of controversy on Ukrainian social media about Pasta this year. There's some controversial pastas. There's lazy people pastas, which is just panettone, Italian panettone. There's experimental pastas, which is pasta with some pistachio sauce in the middle of it. There's some capitalist pastas, which is the chocolate billionaire making his own versions. And there's some sacrilegious pastas, which this very well potentially could be one of.
By the recipe of Daria Zvek, you should talk about her. Well, do your research.
Daria Zvek?
Zvek.
Legendary chef meets legendary comedian in Tiesto-Sviit episode 1. Do your best to try not to drip your sweat into your Pasta dough when you're kneading for 20 minutes. The video looks like a big chocolate chip cookie. Let it rest for 2 hours, and then sit down and have a glass of homemade raspberry wine. Should be doubled in size. I'm gonna divide mine into 6 equal pieces. Check these things out. It's been an hour and a half. Looks like they've raised a little bit. Check them out. 45 minutes at 180 Celsius. Why do we use Fahrenheit? Makes no sense. Oh, goodness sakes. No swears. Here's your Pasta bread. My life lessons from today. My life lessons for me were don't ever swear, especially when making Pasta. The other life lesson is that fascists can be vegan. Another life lesson is if you have to use a tourniquet when you're making Pasta, you probably did something wrong. We've been watching the first episode of Tisto-Sviit, where Pasta dough is where we go. Now the trick in Ukraine is you just leave it sit out for 5 days so it gets real nice and dry. Then it's ready.